Chapter 13 Asset number 5, a duplicable, fully scalable business. Here's a critical truth about network marketing that may surprise you: it is not a business for those who are gifted in sales. I promised a few chapters back that John would say more about this, and now's the time. Robert, John, would you agree that the most successful people in network marketing are not necessarily the best natural salespeople? John, not only would I completely agree, but in fact, I would say that, in a way, the opposite is true. For a born salesman to succeed in network marketing, often the first thing he or she has to do is forget everything they know about selling. Many of the most successful network marketers I've ever seen have been coaches, moms, pastors, teachers, people who really enjoy telling stories and helping others. Network marketing is about sharing information and personal stories, and not about hard selling. It is also about caring about the success of those you bring into the business. Which is a good thing, by the way, because only 1 person in 20 is a natural born salesman anyway. The key to success in sales is what you can do. The key to success in network marketing is what you can duplicate. Robert, sometimes when I say that this business is not about sales, I get a skeptical reaction. Yeah, but aren't you kind of splitting hairs? I mean, whether you call it selling or sharing information, isn't it pretty much semantics? John, no, it's not semantics, and you're not splitting hairs. And it's that duplication factor that really dramatically shows you the huge difference between sales and network marketing. Here's what I would tell that person: if you are an amazing, uniquely skilled, superstar salesperson, then you can do great in sales, and chances are good, you will do lousy in network marketing. 65 See Chapter 13, Asset number 5, a duplicable, fully scalable business. Why? Because while you might sell a lot of products, most people in your network won't be able to duplicate what you do. Consequently, your network cannot grow, and it dies an early death. Robert, because you smothered it in the cradle. John, that's right, and I've seen it happen many times. I often watch talented and creative people start out in network marketing and run into this brick wall because they think that the way to be successful is to use their ingenuity, talent, and unique skills to be amazing. But it's not a question of what you can do, it's what you can do and then what others can do, too. I have also seen companies make the mistake of too strongly recognizing high levels of personal sales as opposed to placing more emphasis on showing everyone how to duplicate their efforts in the performance of others. The ability to duplicate is the magic key here, not the ability to be a top salesperson. When network marketing companies fail to make this clear, they impair their ability to continuously develop and energize their growth engine, the people who duplicate themselves. Robert, that's fascinating, because when you talk about people who try to be ingenious about it, you know what that is. That's thinking like a person in the S quadrant, not in the B quadrant. When you live in the S quadrant, then, by all means, be brilliant and creative and unique. But in the B quadrant? Kiss of death. Henry Ford did not create an empire and change the face of the planet by building a business model around his workers' unique skills and talents. Now, he could have hired craftsmen to hand-make his cars. They would have been amazing cars and he would have sold maybe a few hundred of them. Instead, he designed a model where ordinary people could plug in their time and effort and mass-produce millions of cars. Ford thought like a person who lived smack in the B quadrant. John, I wouldn't have thought of putting it that way, but that's exactly what it is. And if you want to be successful in network marketing, that's how you have to think. Again, what gives your network marketing business its real power is not what you can do, it's what you can duplicate. In other words, you want to build your business in a way that virtually anyone else can readily copy. Why? Because others copying what you do is exactly what you want to happen, what you need to have happen. That's what creates your success. We'll rejoin this discussion of duplication in a moment, but first I want to talk a little about that term scalable. 66 The business of the 21st century: information tools for infinite scalability. Another way of saying what John is talking about, When he says the secret is duplication, is this: the power of your business is in its scalability. A business that is scalable simply means a business that can operate on any scale. This is often the make or break issue with entrepreneurs. The world is full of would-be entrepreneurs who create businesses that are wonderful, as long as they're operating on a scale so small that they can personally control every aspect of the business. But there are very few entrepreneurs who grasp how to design their tiny little business model so it can be multiplied and replicated many times over without their direct participation. This is the secret of Ray Kroc's brilliance in creating the McDonald's phenomenon. He didn't seek out an elite core of especially talented restaurateurs with high-level expertise to run his multiple operations. Instead, he designed the expertise right into the operation. That's exactly what smart network marketing companies have done. Instead of trying to recruit only the most highly skilled speakers, presenters, and salespeople, they have designed the presenting into the system itself, in the form of information tools, and as John explains it, that didn't happen overnight. John, in the early days of network marketing, its practitioners faced a thorny challenge. While it is true that anyone can learn to give a presentation, it is not true that just anyone can give an effective presentation. This meant that, while theoretically anyone could be successful in this business, it often wasn't that way in reality. In the early days, the business really did rely on people with great presentation skills, and a big part of learning the business was learning how to make a great presentation. But just as with sales, very few people are ever going to get truly skilled at making a polished, professional presentation. So this put a serious limitation on the business's ability to grow. Robert, and that's where presentation tools come into the picture. John, that's right. Years ago, people tried to do this with brochures and sales books, and they had a degree of success. While the average person might not be able to become a great presenter, he or she could walk a prospect through a brochure or catalog. But brochures and booklets are simply not engaging enough to capture someone's interest in the way a great live presentation from a dynamic presenter can. Over the past few decades, though, there has been a seismic shift in presentation technology. The explosion of digital technology has leveled the playing field. Digital tools, CDs, DVDs, and online media have now made it possible to recreate that fully engaging, dynamic quality of a live presentation. I find it interesting that you're calling this book The Business of the 21st Century, Robert, because even though it has been around for decades, in a very real way, this business model is just now coming into its real potential, and what we're talking about right now is one of the reasons why. 67 See Chapter 13, Asset Number 5, a duplicable, fully scalable business. Today, when you start your own network marketing business, you don't have to become an adept public speaker. In fact, trying to be one can actually work against you, because again, that's a highly specialized skill, and therefore not very duplicable. Instead of attempting to train yourself to become an expert speaker and presenter, you simply use the business tools provided by your company to do the presentations for you. What's more, these business tools are highly affordable, both because it is in the company's interest to make them affordable, and also because technology has now made it possible. Low-cost, high-quality CDs, DVDs, and online presentations, often including high-quality streaming audio and video, have made possible the dream of a truly democratic and fully scalable network marketing operation, creating a business model that has allowed millions to gain access and excel. Do you realize what this means? It means that as you build your networking business, you are building a fully scalable asset. In plain English, it means you can grow a business as big as you want. Before we go on, though, I have to play the devil's advocate one more time. Robert, John, I have to ask you the question I've heard skeptics ask when they hear this point about being duplicable: so if you don't really have to be a top salesperson, and you don't have to be an expert speaker or presenter, what do you do? Why does the company even need you? John, you network. That's why it's called network marketing, and that's why the company needs you and why they pay you. As a network marketer, Your job description, so to speak, is to connect with people, invite them to experience the products you are excited about and take a look at the information you have, and then follow up with them. Then, once they've decided to join you in the business, you share with them your enthusiasm, your experiences, and you help them learn to do what you have learned to do. Here, again, there are digital tools that can take a huge amount of the burden and expertise of training off your shoulders. Your job is to build relationships, have conversations, explore possibilities, get to know people, and help them get to understand what this business is all about. Invite present follow-up 68 Train the business of the 21st century. So there are parts of this business that a tool can do better than you can, that's the presentation, and to an extent, the training. And there are parts that only you can uniquely do, and that's the human connection part. Here is the core idea: in network marketing, you are the messenger, not the message. Gone are the days of carting around a heavy pack of products to sample, setting up an entire retail store in your living room, or having to memorize long lists of product features and financial statistics. This is the 21st century. In today's network marketing, the tools do all that. Your job is to connect and invite. And by the way, this doesn't mean you don't need to be skilled. You absolutely do. You need to develop the skills we looked at as part of asset number 1, the ability to have self-confidence, withstand rejection, communicate, be a great storyteller, care about people, coach people, and the rest. But these are skills available to anyone. If you've ever helped build a soccer league, PTA group, or chess club, ever been part of a political campaign or church committee, ever coached Little League or formed your own band, then you know what it's like to build a network. You don't need highly skilled salespeople to duplicate what you do. You need people who are willing to learn basic business and communication skills and grow themselves personally into self-determining entrepreneurs and team builders. Very few people are truly skilled at sales. But practically anyone can become skilled at networking, coaching, and team building. Which means this business is open for business to hundreds of millions of your neighbors. Which means you have a readily duplicable, fully scalable business. Once you've grown it to 5 people and then 50, you've mastered the basic skills it takes to grow it to 500, 5,000, and beyond. Which brings us to leadership. 69 Chapter 14 Asset number 6, Incomparable Leadership Skills. When I was first researching the world of network marketing, I went to many meetings and events where I heard dozens of people speaking from the front of the room in their efforts to inspire others to find their own personal greatness. As I listened to these individuals tell their stories of starting with nothing and eventually becoming wealthy beyond their wildest dreams, I realized that this business was doing for these people exactly what my rich dad told me to do. It wasn't simply teaching them the principles of business, it was shaping them into leaders. While they seemed to be talking a lot about money, these people were really inspiring others to get out of their shells, go beyond their fears, and go for their dreams. To do that required leadership skills on the part of the speaker. The reason it takes leadership is that while many people repeat the same overused words and phrases about dreams, more time with family, and freedom, few people inspire enough trust and inspiration to cause others to follow those words and phrases. It's not a matter of memorizing and repeating the right words, it's developing the ability to speak directly to other people's spirits. This is a quality that goes beyond words. This is genuine leadership. Leadership is the force that makes it all come together. Leadership is what builds great businesses. You might think that leadership skills would be included as part of asset number 1, a real-world business education, or asset number 2, a profitable path of personal development. That's reasonable, you could make a case for both. But the truth is, having the capacity to lead is a skill set so valuable, so powerful, and so rare that it is genuinely an asset unto itself, and deserves its own chapter. All the other business skills are important ingredients. Leadership is the force that makes it all come together. Leadership is what builds great businesses. 71 See Chapter 14, Asset number 6, incomparable leadership skills speaking directly to spirit. I grew up in the 50s and 60s, and John F. Kennedy was one of the greatest speakers I have ever heard. When he told the nation in May 1961 that we were going to put a man on the moon within the decade, our scientists really didn't have a clue how we could possibly accomplish such a thing. It was beyond ambitious, it was outrageous. And yet we did it. Even though JFK was killed less than 3 years later, with 3/4 of the decade left to go, his leadership was so compelling and so powerful that his vision persisted after his death. Despite his assassination, despite the catastrophe of Vietnam, despite the nation being rocked by riots and division and the presidential mantle passing from JFK's vice president to his former rival Richard Nixon in 1968, what did we do? We put a man on the moon in 1969, sure enough, within the decade. That's leadership, the power to make things happen through the sheer force of the vision you share. Genuine leaders can move mountains. In Vietnam, I discovered that great leaders were not tough people who yelled and screamed or were physically abusive. In the heat of battle, I found that great, brave leaders were often quiet, yet when they spoke to our souls and our spirits. Money does not go to the business with the best products or service. Money flows to the business with the best leaders. All great leaders have been master storytellers who were able to communicate the vision in such a vivid way that others saw it, too. Look at Jesus Christ, Buddha, Mother Teresa, Gandhi, Muhammad. They were all great leaders, which means they were great storytellers. Money does not go to the business with the best products or service. Money flows to the business with the best leaders. A business that has forgotten how to tell its own story is soon out of business, even if it has tons of inventory. When I find a business that is struggling financially, it is often because the leader of that business cannot communicate the company's vision. He or she cannot tell the story. They may be smart, but they are poor communicators. The leadership skills you need to develop for the B quadrant are very different from the management skills most often required for the E and S quadrants. Don't get me wrong, management skills are important, but there is a vast difference between management skills and leadership skills. Managers are not necessarily leaders, and leaders are not necessarily managers. I meet many people in the S quadrant, the specialists or small business owners, who would like to expand their businesses but cannot, for one reason: they lack leadership skills. No one wants to follow them. Their employees do not trust them, are not inspired by them. I have met many middle managers who fail to climb the corporate ladder because they cannot communicate with others. The world is full of lonely people who cannot seem to find the man or woman of their dreams, simply because they fail to communicate what a good person they are. 72. The business of the 21st century. Communication affects every aspect of life, and this is the number one skill that network marketing teaches. Network marketing leaders sometimes describe themselves as highly paid storytellers. In fact, they are among the most highly paid storytellers, and there's a very simple reason for this: they are among the best storytellers. When I started attending network marketing business trainings, I got to meet highly successful, real-world business owners who had started their businesses from scratch. Many were great teachers because they were teaching from experience and not from theory. Sitting through many of the business seminars, I often found myself nodding in agreement with their straight talk about what it takes to survive on the streets of the real world of business. After the seminars, I would often talk to the instructors. I was amazed at how much money they made, not only from their businesses, but also from their investments. Several made significantly more than many top CEOs in corporate America. Yet, there was something else to these instructors that impressed me even more. Although they were rich and certainly did not have to be leading these events, they had a passion for teaching and helping their fellow human beings. I began to realize that a network marketing business is based on the leaders pulling people up, while a traditional corporate or government business is based on promoting only a few and keeping the masses of employees content with a steady paycheck. These instructors in the network marketing world were not saying, "If you don't perform, you lose your job." Instead, they were saying, "Let me help you do better and better. As long as you want to learn, I'll be here to teach you. We're on the same team." A very special type of leader. Many people have leadership qualities within them, but these qualities are never brought out. They never have the opportunity. My rich dad understood this. One reason he encouraged me to go into the Marine Corps and then on to Vietnam was that it would develop my leadership skills. But you don't need to join the Marines to have the chance for the leader within you to blossom. You can have that chance through network marketing. And the real beauty of a network marketing leadership program is not simply the fact that it develops leadership, but the particular type of leadership it brings out. Network marketing tends to develop the type of leader who influences others by being a great teacher, teaching others to fulfill their life's dreams by teaching others to go for their dreams. The military develops a type of leader who inspires men and women to defend their country. The world of business develops a type of leader who builds teams to beat the competition. Network marketing tends to develop the type of leader who influences others by being a great teacher, teaching others to fulfill their life's dreams by teaching others to go for their dreams. 73C Chapter 14, Asset Number 6, Incomparable Leadership Skills. Instead of beating the enemy or beating the competition, most network marketing leaders simply inspire and teach others to find the financial bounty this world offers without harm to others. The opportunity to develop the capacity to lead is a value uniquely intrinsic to network marketing. Sure, you could learn leadership in any other field. From the military to government to corporate life, every sphere of life produces leaders, but not very many. Genuine leadership is extremely rare except in network marketing. John has an interesting perspective on why this is so. John, what is unique about network marketing is that it marries a broad compensation structure to a field of people made up of 100% of volunteers. You will not find a single network marketing distributor who punches a time clock or has to show up for work. As independent representatives, no one is hired or fired, everyone is there voluntarily. Nobody can tell you what to do, no one can give you orders. So why does it work? What's the engine that drives the machine? The answer comes in one word: leadership. And the leadership you develop in your network marketing business will show up in every other sphere of your life. The 4 elements of leadership traditional schools train you to be a good employee. They focus on one thing only: your mental ability. If you can solve equations and do well on tests, then you're considered smart enough to run a company. That's ridiculous. The reason I am a successful entrepreneur today is because of the training I received in the Marines. Military schools prepare you to be a great leader by focusing not only on your mind, but also on your emotional, physical, and spiritual abilities. They teach you how to operate under extreme pressure. I had the smarts to fly a helicopter in Vietnam, but I never would have made it back without the development of my spirituality. If that had not been strong, then fear, emotion, would have set in, and I would very likely have frozen up, physical, at the controls of the gunship. Having these 4 elements, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, working in harmony helped me make it through my missions. Mental: this also armed me with the knowledge and understanding it took to be a good leader in the business world, because emotional, physical, these are exactly the same for spiritual. 74 The business of the 21st century: elements of leadership required to be successful in business. Mind, spirit, body, emotions. If you cannot control these 4 aspects of yourself, then you will fail. And if you are not able to help develop these 4 elements in your employees, and in so doing help them to become effective leaders, then you will fail. It's as simple as that. Here's another thing military schools teach you: being on the front lines means not caring about whether or not you are liked. Of course, we all want to be liked, but to be a great leader, you have to set boundaries, monitor the behavior of your staff, and take corrective action when necessary. Sometimes you're going to tick people off. Yes, it's going to happen, there's no way around it. But here is what's also going to happen: you are going to create the best team possible, one that understands what you expect, and what you will and will not tolerate. 75 Chapter 15 Asset Number 7, A Mechanism for Genuine Wealth Creation. Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, two of the three creators of the Declaration of Independence, were great lifelong friends, although their friendship was not without differences, even huge ones. They were temperamental opposites, and at one point they became bitter political arch-rivals, diametrically opposed on many issues. For years, our second and third presidents refused to speak with one another. But in their later years they reconciled, and their lengthy correspondence is one of the great treasures of American literature. They died on the very same day, on July 4, 1826, 50 years to the day from the signing of the Declaration of Independence that they had co-authored with Benjamin Franklin. There is one more curious fact about these two men, their relationship to wealth. Jefferson was the classic Virginia aristocratic landowner, possessing an estate encompassing thousands of acres. Adams was a Massachusetts barrister from a fairly poor farm family, and lived his long life without ever having much in the way of wealth. And yet, on the day of their death, Adams was worth about $100,000 and Jefferson's estate was about $100,000 in debt. Wealth is not the same thing as money. Wealth is not measured by the size of income. Wealth is measured in time. Jefferson had money and property, but it slipped through his fingers. Adams never had much money, but though he lived simply, he had a firm grasp on how to build wealth. One of the central reasons I'm writing this book is to make sure you grasp the crucial difference between money and wealth. Why does the typical million-dollar lottery winner end up broke within 3 years after earning his or her millions? Because while they had a sudden windfall of money, they had no concept of wealth. 77 See Chapter 15, Asset Number 7, A Mechanism for Genuine Wealth Creation. Wealth is not the same thing as money. Wealth is not measured by the size of income. Wealth is measured in time. If all I have to my name is $1,000 in savings and checking combined, and my living expenses are $100 a day, then my wealth equals 10 days. Wealth is the ability to survive so many number of days forward. Ask yourself, if I stop working today, how long could I survive financially? Your answer is equal to your wealth at this moment. Actually, let's deepen that definition. Wealth is measured by the richness of your life experience today plus the number of days into the future that you have the capacity to continue living at that level of experience. One reason the rich get richer is that the rich work for a different kind of money. They don't work to generate income, they work to build wealth. There is a vast difference between the two. One of the most profound values of a network marketing business, and it is one that the great majority of people who look at this business do not quite grasp, is that it is an engine of personal wealth creation. My simple 4-step path to financial freedom. Kim and I were able to retire early in life without jobs, without government assistance, and without any trading of stocks or any mutual funds. Why no trading of stocks or mutual funds? Because we believed they were very risky investments. In my opinion, mutual funds are some of the riskiest of all investments. Kim and I used a simple 4-step plan to retire young and rich. It took us 9 years, from 1985 to 1994, starting with nothing and retiring financially free without a single share of stock or mutual funds. It goes like this: 1. Build a business. 2. Reinvest in your business. 3. Invest in real estate. 4. Let your assets buy luxuries. Let's look at how the sequence works. 1. Build a business. Building a business allows you to generate a lot of money. Furthermore, the tax laws of the United States are very favorable to people who earn their income in the B quadrant and punish people who earn their money in the E quadrant. A business is like a child, it takes time to grow. While it can take less time, and can certainly take more, getting a business off the ground typically takes about 5 years. 78 The business of the 21st century. 2. Reinvest in your business. The key to this process is that you don't try to use your business as an income source to live on. A lot of first-time network marketers make this mistake. As soon as they start seeing an income stream develop from their new business, they use that new income to expand their living expenses, buy a second car, buy a bigger house, take expensive vacations, and so forth. Why do people do this? It's not because they're idiots. I've seen very intelligent, well-informed people follow this pattern. They do it for one reason and one reason only: they are still living, breathing, and thinking in the E quadrant. If you want to build wealth, you have to get your head out of the left-hand side of that diagram and start thinking B and I. First, keep your day job. Your goal is not to replace your job with your business. That's just treating your business like your new job. You'll never build wealth that way. Instead, once your new business is making some money, go right to step 2, reinvest your new income in that business in order to grow it still further. But I don't want to keep my day job. I hate working there. Isn't that the whole point? I want to stop working as an employee. The reason so many people fail to achieve great wealth in any business is simply that they fail to reinvest continually in the business. Fair enough, you want to get out of the E quadrant and quit that job. Maybe you hate your job. Or you may be like a lot of professionals I've met who actually love what they do, but don't love the fact that they have to keep doing it 40, 50, or 60 hours a week. Whatever your reasons, here's the blunt truth: if you suck all the income out of your new business to burn on monthly living expenses, then you're not building a business, you're just building yourself another job. A true business owner never stops investing and reinvesting to build the business. The reason so many people fail to achieve great wealth in any business is simply that they fail to reinvest continually in the business. So, what does that look like in network marketing? John, a traditional business might reinvest by building a new warehouse, spending money on national advertising, developing new product lines, or buying new distribution channels. But as a network marketer, you don't have these expenses. The network marketing company itself makes these types of investments for you. How do you reinvest in your business, then? There are certainly places where you can invest some money wisely: on training and educating yourself, on travel to support your growing network in other cities, on promotional and educational tools and resources to help nourish the business. 79 See Chapter 15, Asset Number 7. A mechanism for genuine wealth creation. For the most part, though, network marketing is a business whose major capital investment is not your money but your time and effort. Which means the better part of your networking income becomes available to you to feed the serious process of building your wealth. But notice, I did say building your wealth, not squandering your wealth. Don't make the mistake I've seen people make, and start spending every last dollar from your new commission checks on a bigger car, bigger house, bigger lifestyle. Don't abuse your new business income by pouring it into bigger holes in the ground. Treat it with the respect it deserves. Invest it. 3. Invest in real estate. As your business income continues to grow, you begin using that supplemental income to buy real estate. You'll notice there are no mutual funds, stock portfolios, or other paper assets in this plan. That's because even though they are the easiest assets to build, all you have to do is buy them. Trading in stocks and mutual funds is risky, profits made are taxed at the capital gain rate, and investing takes financial education to lessen risk. The idea here is to use your new supplemental money to build an income-generating asset. There are many types of assets that can generate income, but the one I recommend most often is real estate, for two principal reasons. First, the tax laws are written in favor of business owners who invest in real estate. Second, your banker loves to lend you money for real estate. Try asking your banker for a 30-year loan at 6.5% to buy mutual funds or stocks. They'll laugh you out of the bank. People often ask me, how can I buy real estate when I barely earn enough money to pay the rent? Good question. You can't. Not, that is, until you have the extra cash. That's why this step comes after building a business and reinvesting in its continued growth, so you have the extra cash. But let me explain what I mean when I say, invest in real estate, because many people completely misunderstand how real estate works as an asset. Most people think that the point of real estate is to buy a property at one price and then sell it, either quickly, after some hasty improvements, or at a later time, for a higher price. Wrong. That's just buying a cow and then selling it for steaks. What you want to do is buy a cow and keep it forever so you can sell its milk. The purpose of buying real estate is not to sell it, the purpose of buying real estate is to build an income-generating asset. Learning how to do this takes time, education, experience, and money. As with learning anything new, it's difficult not to make some mistakes, and mistakes in real estate, especially in property management, can be very expensive. Unless you have the extra steady income and the tax advantages that come with a B quadrant business, real estate is either too risky or too slow. 80. The business of the 21st century. The reason many people fail to become rich in real estate is that they don't have the cash it takes. The truth is, the best real estate deals are usually expensive. If you don't have much money, often the only real estate deals you can get are deals that people with real money have passed on. The reason so many people try looking for no money down investments is that they have nothing to put down. Unless you are really experienced and have plenty of cash on hand to use when you need it, putting nothing down could be the most expensive investment of your life. 4. Let your assets buy luxuries for many years, even long after we could have afforded to do more. Kim and I continued to live in a small house with a monthly mortgage of about $400 and drove average cars. Meanwhile, we were using whatever extra cash we generated to build our business and invest in real estate. Today we live in a large home and have 6 luxury cars between us, but we didn't buy that house or those cars. Our assets bought them, we just enjoy them. When I say luxury, I don't necessarily mean something extravagant or ostentatious. I mean something that you want and enjoy, and that exists beyond what you need. I'll give you an example. Think of anyone you know who works for a living but does not love their job. If you told them, hey, you don't like your job, you should just quit. What would they say? I'd love to, but I don't have that luxury. That's right, for many people, simply not having their job is one of the very first luxuries they want. How do you get that luxury? The same as any other, you let your business or your real estate holdings buy it for you. For that to happen, you have to build those assets to the point where they can buy it for you. You see how it works? You don't use your income to buy yourself luxuries, you use your income to build your assets, your business and real estate investments, and then, once they're sufficiently built to be able to do so, you let them buy your luxuries. Which brings us to the matter of dreams. 81.